kama huwa anapenda kuvaa hivi ni nini? Sijakwambia njoo sasa mhadhiri njoo.
Anasema ndio mimi ndunge mshale.
Kabisa kama hilo.
Hata hivyo wanaomba Holy Spirit atawapea self control.
Uhusiano wa wasichana na wahadhiri si tu juu ya marks.
Alafu unaweza kusema kwa sababu mimi ni maskini. Wewe ni maskini kitu gani? Kama una akili wewe si maskini.
Waizi wengi si wasomi. Angalia vizuri. Wale waizi wengi ni wale wanafanya mkato. Mwizi ambaye amesoma huwezi mshika.
This is KTN News.
Well, it is now 11 a.m. Good morning and welcome to KTN News Center with me, Michelle Ngele. In this hour, we shall focus on the NASA and Jubilee campaign trails, with NASA leading their campaigns in Machakos, while Jubilee is in Kericho, led by President Uhuru Kenyatta. We will be analyzing the stakes for both parties in the two different counties they will be visiting with our researcher Fatia Noor right here on KTN News Center. Now, NASA counterparts led by presidential candidate Raila Odinga will today be visiting Machakos County to consolidate their support base there. All the principals are expected to campaign in the area regarded as its stronghold. Our political editor Ben Kitili has been on the opposition campaign trail and will be joining us later on with live details from the region. Zoya and Kericho counties. The president is expected in Kericho this morning. Yesterday, President Uhuru Kenyatta was in Nyamira County, where he blasted the opposition NASA of not being ready for the August 8th elections. Our reporter Murimi Mwangi now joins us for the latest on the Jubilee campaign trail. All right, and so Fatia Noor from our research desk is here in studio just to give us the stakes and what the numbers look like in the different counties that both Jubilee and NASA are going to. So let's begin with Kericho County, Fatia. Good to see you on News Center.
Good morning, Michelle.
Kericho is where Jubilee is. What are the stakes for them there, especially, the number of registered voters to begin with?
Well, in 2013, we had a total of 290,947, but now they've increased. The 2017, we have 375,668 voters. Now, this constituency has county has 6 constituencies, namely Kipkelion East, West, Ainamoi, Bureti, Belgot, Sigowet, and Soin. So mostly this constituency is, if I could say, a Jubilee Party area.
Right.
Knowing that the governor, the Senate, and the women rep, they're all from the Jubilee Party.
Are they seeking to defend their positions? I mean, of course, being a Jubilee stronghold, we've seen them preach the 6 pieces for voting in the region as well.
Well, during the nominations, the governor and the senator, they retained their seats, their tickets, basically. But the women representative, Helen Chalangata, lost her seat to a lady called Florence Bore for the Jubilee Party. The Florence lady got around 52,000 votes, while the incumbent got 40,000 votes. So for the governor and the senator, they are defending their seats. But the women rep this time round is being taken by another lead.
So we have Paul Chepkoni, who is defending his seat as governor on the Jubilee Party ticket. And of course, Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, who has been termed as the youngest senator so far, also trying to defend his seat on the Jubilee ticket. But for the women rep, we have Florence Bore, also running under the Jubilee ticket. And then, of course, there's Trans Nzoia, where Jubilee is supposed to go later in the afternoon. What are the stakes there?
In Trans Nzoia County, the Jubilee today, they will be in Kitale, Kitale town, which is the county headquarters, basically. Now, in 2013, the Trans Nzoia County had a total voters of 245,092. And in this year, there are 339,622. So you see the numbers have increased.
Yeah, they keep increasing about 100,000.
Yes, and the constituencies, a total of 5 constituencies: Kwanza, Endebe, Saboti, Kiminini, Cherangani. But something interesting to note here, it's an opposition zone.
Right.
Knowing that the governor, the senator, and the women rep are coming from Ford, Kenya, then New Ford, Kenya. So it's basically largely an opposition zone. Yes.
All right, so of course Jubilee will be trying to make their forays there. The current governor is Patrick Hayemba Simiyu of Ford, Kenya. Is he looking to retain his seat?
Yes, he is, but of course he has opponents. For Jubilee Party, during the nominations, there was a little bit of issues with who exactly won the nominations. But what we know is Kakai Bissau took the Jubilee Party ticket to vie for the gubernatorial seat. There's also Andrew Wanyonyi, who's vying for the Amani National Congress, together with Joseph Mburu for a party known as a New Vision Party.
Right.
Yes.
All right, so that is in Trans Nzoia County. President Uhuru Kenyatta will be headed there with his deputy president later on. But of course, we also have the opposition carrying out their campaigns in Machakos, led by Raila Odinga. What are their stakes there?
Well, you see, Machakos is a stronghold for the opposition. Now, 2013, we had a total of 445,421 voters. And in 2017, we have a total of 620,254 voters. So the numbers, of course, have increased. They have a number of constituencies, but this is a very hotly contested area, especially the gubernatorial seat. The current governor is Alfred Mutua. He has his own party, Maendeleo Chapchap Party, but he's supporting President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election. But you see, his opponents like Wavinya Ndeti, she's been going through a lot of issues, if I may say. Just the other day, IEBC was not allowing her to vie. She was not in the list of aspirants. But right now, she's going to vie under the Wiper Party, and she's going to stand as the opposition. Other people who will also be looking at that position is Lemi Muya. Lemi Muya was in the first chief officer for the county government, Machakos Water county government, but he was also involved in a corruption scandal that actually put him down. Also, we have Bernard Kyala. Bernard Kyala is the incumbent deputy governor of Machakos County. There was also issues with Bernard Kyala, knowing that he's the first deputy governor just after Alfred Mutua, trying to unseat Alfred Mutua from his seat. So what happened, the ticket was given to Wavinya Ndeti, and this brought in a lot of issues with the senator, the incumbent senator, Johnston Muthama. And this brought in an issue between Johnston Muthama and Kalonzo Musyoka.
Right.
Yes, for giving Wavinya Ndeti that particular position. Yes, so that's for the gubernatorial seat.
All right, and of course this is also the backyard of NASA presidential running mate Kalonzo Musyoka. He's expected to be there as well. He's been termed as the kingpin of the Kamba community. But how strong is that position to date, really?
It is considered strong. Alfred Mutua is considered, he's gone to the other party, so they really don't consider him much. But Kalonzo Musyoka is known for that particular area, with also somebody like Charity Ngilu, who's also in the opposition. So for him, it's a big deal for the opposition to be in Machakos County. This is a very big stronghold for them specifically.
All right, so of course the constituencies, several constituencies in Machakos County, how many are there?
There are a total of around 7 constituencies. We have Masinga, Yatta, Kangundo, Matungulu, Kathiani, Mavoko, Machakos Town, and Mwala. You see, Wavinya Ndeti, before saying that she's going to vie for the gubernatorial seat, she was a former member of parliament for Kathiani constituency and also a former assistant minister for youth and sports. So she's somebody who's been in this county for so long. Yes.
All right, of course, we've spoken about the gubernatorial race, but the senatorial race is also one to speak about in Machakos County. Talk to us about that.
So the senatorial race, the incumbent, as I said, is Johnston Muthama. But funny enough, this time around, he's not vying he's not defending his seat.
Right.
All right. So the guy's vying is somebody called Mutua Katuku for the People's Trade Party, PTP. And for Jubilee Party, we have Winfred Mutua. Also, we have Jackson Kala for the Wiper Party, and we have Carlos Kioko from Alfred Mutua's party, Maendeleo Chapchap.
Right. So that's quite a jump pack, especially with the number of parties. But the women rep position is also one that has several candidates trying to unseat the incumbent, so to speak. Talk to us about that.
I don't know if many know the women representative of that area. She's called Susan Musyoka. She's now running as independent. She lost her ticket. So we have Agnes Kavindu. Agnes Kavindu is vying under the Jubilee Party ticket. And Agnes Kavindu is said to be the ex-wife of Johnson Muthama.
Right.
And just the other day, she was claiming that her life is in danger, that her security is not in a good place, and she was asking the government if they could take care of her. Another person is Joyce Kamene from the Wiper Democratic Party. We also have Francisca Mutinda from the Maendeleo Chapter Party, and finally, Jane Ndeti from Chama cha Uzalendo, CCU Party.
All right, so those are the stakes today on the campaign trail. Jubilee will be in Kericho and the Trans-Nzoia counties as NASA takes the campaigns to Machakos County, which is the backyard of NASA running mate Kalonzo Musyoka. Thank you so much, Fatia Noor, for that analysis. And of course, more details to come on the stakes on the campaign trail, just 9 days to the election. Now, Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi is accusing the Jubilee administration of using chiefs and village elders to campaign for it in the coastal region. Kingi also accused the government of distributing relief food for purposes of winning the support of the people. He added such tactics would not win power in the August general election.
Chakula ambao kinaletwa hapa tunaambiwa kinatoka kwa serikali ya Jubilee, lakini kinaletwa na kina nani? Na candidates. Saa hii wanashurutisha, wanalazimisha chifu wote wa Kilifi wakampenie serikali ya nini? Ya Jubilee. Mimi nataka nishukuru machifu wetu wa Kilifi. Manake hata wao wanaona shida. Mimi nataka nashukuru machifu wa Kilifi. Wameona kabisa hasara kubwa Jubilee ikirudi. Manake mfuko wangu ukifika 300 hakuna bei tofauti ya chief. Hosi unapata shida. Sojo. Ni vijo sojo. Na chief anaona ile hatari. Sisi tunataka tuambie serikali ya Jubilee, acheni na machifu wafanye kazi yao ya uchifu. Manake mfanyikazi wa serikali hatakikani kuegemea huku na huku. Lakini wafanyikazi wetu, hususan machifu na manaibu wao, wanashurutishwa na serikali ya Jubilee eti wasukume wapige kampeni ya Jubilee.
Youth and Gender Cabinet Secretary Cicely Kariuki has cautioned politicians against politicizing the National Youth Service programs. She fought claims by the opposition leaders that the Jubilee government intends to use the NYS and the military to rig this year's election. She was speaking in Kakamega while launching the NYS Economic Empowerment Program.
Ungumu sana kusaidia watu wetu hii Kenya yetu. Sababu ukianza kufanya ile mazuri, tunaweka siasa pale. Sisi ni serikali gani jinga hivi tuchukue vitambulisho za watoto ndio tukoroge siasa? Hii ni siasa kwa imradi? Ni elections tunafanya leo? Sisi tutakuwa ni wajinga namna gani kama serikali mawaziri? Tuitisha vitambulisho ndio tu ibe kura. Tutaweza kuimba? Nyinyi hamuna akili? Nyinyi hamuoni maendeleo? Hamuoni tuna shida za ajira? Kwa hivyo imekuwa ngumu sana, na niseme ni vizuri wanasiasa mtupatie nafasi tuhudumie wananchi wa Kenya.
Motorists in Meru have complained over an NTSA crackdown on drunk drivers, claiming the alcohol gadget was abolished by the courts. NTSA, which carried a crackdown on drunk drivers in Meru town last night, had put a roadblock near the Kathita Bridge in Meru town and managed to net several motorists who were said to drive their vehicles while drunk. The motorists said NTSA was going against the law by using the gadget. Now, Njeri Njori Muhara is an entrepreneur whose first love, she says, is dairy farming. She's been at it for the last 5 years and has seen her hustle grow in leaps and bounds. To maximize on profits, Njeri ensures that she practices value addition by converting her milk into yogurt, and not just any yogurt, but probiotic yogurt, a special kind of yogurt. She also processes macadamia and practices horticulture. Mrs. Muhara is also now trying her hand in politics as the only female running mate to a gubernatorial candidate in Nyeri County. Alongside Patrick Munene Kairu, they will be hoping to clinch the Nyeri governor's seat on a Democratic Party ticket. Carol Nderi visited Njeri on her farm and brings us her story.
So now they Nothing gives Njeri Njori Muhara a sense of calm than spending her time with her brood of cows that she has individually named. She even has a favorite, Venus, who was a gift from Njeri's mother. Venus is an Ayrshire breed that set the pace for her now expansive dairy farming. From just one cow, Njeri presently has 40 dairy cows. Her bovines are a pampered lot. They do sleep on special cow mattresses. An exuberant Njeri explains why she pampers her cows and ensures the highest standards of hygiene are maintained by her 7 permanent staff.
My cows sleep on mattresses because they're just like human beings. Actually, I tell people that dairy cows are like women. You have to pamper them when they're expectant. Yes, and then when they're being milked, because you want to soothe them, the manager has a small little radio. So, and that is when he plays music to them. And you actually can see they are quiet when the machine is running, the milking machine is running. Like now they have already been milked. So, and they get, like, they are concentrating. They are concentrating on the music, they are quiet.
She says milk is white gold, and from it she practices value addition by processing probiotic yogurt under the brand name Cool Fresh.
The milk I actually don't sell as raw milk. I add value in terms of yogurt. I produce yogurts, and my yogurt is basically different. It's not the usual yogurt because it's called probiotic yogurt. No one else in Kenya does probiotic yogurt. The brand name is Cool Fresh. Probiotic means it's actually the opposite of antibiotics. So that when we take antibiotics because we are sick, it kills the good and the bad bacteria. So probiotics replenishes those good bacteria that we require in our intestinal system or in our digestive system.
The milk is refrigerated in this cooler that she purchased to ensure that the highest quality standards are maintained. Njeri Njori Muhara is an avid farmer who is often sought after by other farmers who want to emulate her. They visit her farm to learn a thing or two about modern farming practices.
Hiyo dairy ni mzuri, hata nikiwa bored, nikiwa nimekasirishwa na mtu kama Karo kinikasirisha, huenda kwa ng'ombe na waongeresha, tunaongea, nasikia vizuri. Kwa hivyo hiyo iko pia therapeutic, ni kama therapy.
She has other feathers on her cape. She's the only female running mate chosen by a gubernatorial candidate in Nyeri. She will be vying alongside Nyeri's gubernatorial candidate Patrick Munene Kairu, who hopes to clinch the seat on a DP ticket. Having grown up in Tetu Nyeri and now married in Mathera, still in Nyeri, she feels that Nyeri can be restored to its former glory.
Felt very sad when you read in the papers and you told that Nyeri has lagged behind in development for the 2nd year running. It has been counting number 47 there last year. Now this year it's been 47 again. We are given enough money to do developmental work by the national government. Unfortunately, there is no planning. There is no planning of that money. You use only 650,000 surely for 6 months. And then the rest of the money is taken back. So when they give us more money again, probably they now think we will not be able. So that has made me feel very sad. Actually, it's a very sad affair. Njeri Muhara, yeah, like you said, is an entrepreneur. Actually, a serial entrepreneur because I told you I also do macadamia and I'm doing dairy. And there's also somewhere I'm doing horticulture. I'll take you somewhere and do horticulture. So, yeah, that is Njeri Muhara.
The mother of two says with proper governance, Nyeri can attain even higher heights. With her experience in professional farming and entrepreneurship, Njori Mohara feels that she can bring the wind of change and good tidings to County number 19. Carol Nderi, KTN News, Nyeri County.
Now, the national government has handed over 2 boreholes in Kajiado to the local communities. The Eseki and the Ilmotio boreholes were handed over to the community to help mitigate the effects of drought that has hit the area. Most of the rivers in Kajiado have dried up, forcing locals to travel for long distances to fetch water.
Wakati imeshimba, mvua hakuna, mvua hajanyesha. Kwa hivyo sisi wenyewe itaona watu nimejaribu kusaidia sisi, lakini mvua hajanyesha. Kama ilikuwa mvua imenyesha, ilikuwa imekuta saa hii ilikuwa na maji, lakini mvua hajanyesha. Lakini nimeshukuru sana kwa sababu limeshimbia.
Kupitia kwa msaada wa serikali wa National Government, Ministry of Planning, Devolution and Planning, kupitia shirika la Western South Development Authority, katika eneo hili tumetengeneza maboa mawili. Moja sehemu inaitwa Iseki around 20 kilometers kutoka hapa, na hii leo ya Motio ambayo ndio tumekuja kufungua.
North Korea's state-run television has aired a video of the country's leader Kim Jong-un watching its purported second test launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile. In the footage, Kim was seen supervising the midnight launch of the missile on Friday night with the state's high-ranking officials and scientists. Kim was quoted as saying the test was a stern warning for the United States and confirms that all parts of the U.S. territory is within North Korea's firing range. The ICBM, which is aimed for maximum distance, flew for 47 minutes and 12 seconds while reaching a maximum altitude of 3,724 kilometers. The missile flew 998 kilometers while successfully reaffirming the re-entry capabilities of the rocket, the state media added. The test was ordered by Kim, who was cited as saying the isolated state's weapons program is an invaluable asset that cannot be taken back or replaced. Of Palestinians have re-entered Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem after Israeli authorities lifted an age restriction it had placed earlier on Friday. The Islamic Waqf religious authority that administers the compound announced that all gates would be opened to Palestinians of all ages. Early in the day, Israeli police prevented access to the holy shrine for men under the age of 50 and closed some of the compound's gates. The announcement came just a few hours before Friday prayers began, with thousands of men praying in the streets and just outside the compound's gates.
Talk about all the contentious points, but it's a long process. Until we get there, in the meantime,
a protest triggered by the death of a black man after he was chased by police erupted into violent clashes in London's suburb on Friday evening. 20-year-old Rashan Charles died in hospital last Saturday after being chased by police in Hackney, northeast London, according to the BBC. The Friday's protest in the area began peacefully, but fireworks and bottles were hurled at riot police, with mattresses set on fire as police advanced towards the protesters. That brings us to a close at 24 minutes past the hour. This is KTN News Center with me, Michelle Ngele. Many thanks for staying with us. Do have yourself a wonderful morning. I'll be seeing you again at 1 p.m. on a Weekend at 1.
KTN News.
In East Berlin, the world ricocheted around the city. Astounded people left their homes and rushed to the border to see if it could really be true. On this freezing cold night, a growing tide of humanity headed for the checkpoints, surging forward so close to the small line of guards that the fog of their breaths joined as one.
The aircraft took off at Paris at 4:44 local time and crashed just right after the takeoff. All on board, as well as 4 other persons on the ground, were killed.
The tremendous upheaval and pressure of the earthquake forced the seafloor to rise several meters. 30 cubic kilometers of seawater was pushed upwards, radiating out along the entire length of the trench as a series of deadly tsunamis.
Achieve your dreams with the KCB Gold Savings Account. Set the amount you want to save and how long you want to save for. Visit any KCB branch now and open a KCB Gold Savings Account. KCB Bank. Go ahead.
KTN News. Get the whole story.
Hello and welcome to On the Road. I'm Onja Mungai and I'm happy you're tuned in to Africa's #1 travel guide. This is a show that takes you to all corners of our continent, from the north to the south, east and the west. Today we'll be at the far edges of our continent, from the southeastern coastlines of Mozambique to the Cup of Africa in Morocco, and finally, the land of cool waters. It's an interesting show. Stay tuned. We start off with a fun fair in Morocco, where we'll be involved in a thrilling but a fun activity with the horses. Our venue is Ulid Azuz. A visa to this North African country cost about $60. A multiple entry visa cost about $120. To get to Ouleda Zoos, you need to get to Casablanca first through Mohammed V International Airport. It is located 30 kilometers from the city center. You can either use a shuttle or a taxi to get to the city. From Casablanca to Ouleda Zoos, you do a road trip of about 2 hours. Car hire ranges between $50 and $100 a day. Most hotels are available about 20 kilometers away from Ouleda Zoos. Riyadh Safi along Dab Kanissa charges about $60 a night. The rooms offer an excellent view of the ocean and the Safi Medina. Located on Côte Touristique, there is a Hotel Villa Noor. The services are self-catering and there is free Wi-Fi. Rates per night are only $130. For dining options, try the spicy sausages and sandwich with French fries at La Grenadière. It's a combination of fear and excitement as well. Now get ready for the thrills and spills at the Morocco Fantasia Festival. Under the blue skies of the Moroccan desert in the town of Ouleda Zouz, a historical event is just about to begin. Horses decorated in bright colors graze lazily as their riders prepare in readiness for the annual Fantasia Festival. This is a traditional showcase of horsemanship aimed at preserving and reviving Morocco's culture. This year's event attracted thousands of locals here.
Borida is something we have inherited from our grandfathers, and we also teach our children how to assemble and link saddles, and charge rifles, and how to shoot. May God bless my team members. They listen to me and have a chemistry between us. When they see my signal, we shoot fire at the same time.
The riders are also referred to as the knights, dressed in traditional regalia. They are grouped in teams known as sabas. Each side has at least 15 members. Once they're done, traditional swords are armed with old-style gunpowder guns. The knights are set for the Tourida. But just before the event begins, the combatants must recite a prayer asking for guidance and strength throughout the day-long event. The contest requires expertise in a few different disciplines. Each team must race their horses for a distance of 200 meters. At the end of the line, the knights must aim to shoot in sync and produce a sound in order to win the race. The festival carries on across Morocco, and what makes it special is that each village has a unique style in which they carry out the event. In Ouleda Zouz, this old man determines the scores of the race. Unlike the conventional scoreboard where scores for each team are tallied, the old man dances with a pot on his back and breaks it to indicate the winning score by a team.
This man is called Haji Hami. He also has his own horses. This Hami, even if you give him 500 or 600 dirhams, he will never break the guards for you until you do good shoots. This guard for us like a winner's cap. If you do great show, he will break the guard for you. If he doesn't break it, that means you lose.
At the end of the day, the winning team goes home with renewed pride and recognition in their villages for their effort. Watch out for next year's Fantasia Festival. For now, we take a breather. We'll be right back in the southeast of Africa.
This is KTN News.
Tunayo two sources. Uwezo wenu unatuwezesha tukope kwa sababu naweza kulipa. Uwezo wenu unatuwezesha tupate pesa fulani ambazo mwalipa kutoka kodi. Those are the two sources. Sio nyingi. Lakini hizo sources hizo mbili zinatosha sana katika kujenga nchi hii. Kwa sababu hatutaki mtu binafsi akachukua bilioni 1 akaweka huko ulimani ati atafurahia huko baadaye. Baadaye utakuwa umekufa. Na hii baadaye na wewe umeweka pesa huko itakuwa bure.
Hi, my name is Dennis Mbaye. I'm a reporter at Africa Uncensored. It's elections time here in Kenya and political temperatures are rising. Think about this. It is easy to despise a matchstick. That is all it takes to burn down a whole forest. In the same way, your vote and mine may seem unimportant, but they can transform Kenya for good. But unless a matchstick is struck against a special surface, it cannot serve its purpose, just as a vote that is not cast. I am going to vote, and vote wisely, to make Kenya better for myself and the coming generations.
Sisi hatuhitaji kumuitisha Fred Matiang'i ruhusa. Sheria ya Kenya ambaye yeye anafaa kuisoma inasema mtu ambaye anafaa kupatiana ruhusa anaitwa IEBC.
This is KTN News.
Welcome back. Our next destination is the picturesque beaches of Mozambique's Inhambane, specifically Tofo Beach. Let's figure out how to get there. Visas to Mozambique are no longer available on arrival. Fees can go to as high as $600 to as low as $100, depending on nationality. South Africans do not require a visa to Mozambique. Visas are valid for 90 days. Maputo has several airports, but the main one is the Maputo International Airport, located in the capital city, Maputo. Airlines flying to Maputo are Lisbon, Blantyre, Durban, Nairobi, Harare, Dar es Salaam, Lilongwe, and many more. To go to Tofo Beach, you land at Inhambane Airport, which is about 500 kilometers north of Maputo. There are connecting flights 5 times a week. To drive from Tofo to Inhambane takes about 45 minutes. At Praia de Tofinho in Inhambane, there is Amigo Lodge, which offers accommodation for $60. The rooms are cozy and the decor is just on point. The staff understands English as well. There are also a number of outdoor activities to get involved in, like skiing and horse riding. At Tofo Tofo restaurant at Tofo Beach, you expect to eat a lot of seafood. All right, well, I hope you're now ready to go to Tofo Beach. Be ready for an exciting experience.
Mozambique boasts over 2,700 kilometers of coastline.
Much of it excellent beachfronts for sunbathing, surfing, fishing, diving, and just enjoying being in Mozambique.
The coastline is meaning everything for us. It's a source of food, it's a source of jobs, it's a source of tourism. So our coast is...
Tofo Beach in Mhambane province is popular with tourists and locals alike. Although you will find more Europeans and South Africans here.
But when they take holidays, they go to Nelspruit, they go to Johannesburg, but never go to Tofo. Yeah. You see, at the end of the year, you see a lot of cars coming from South Africa to Mozambique. And Mozambiques are going to South Africa for shopping.
There are plenty of inexpensive guest houses to choose from, usually costing between $20 and $80 per night. With plenty of fish around, a nice seafood meal will only set you back a few bucks. Leonardo Gangulo is a former fisherman. He now takes tourists diving on the nearby reef.
All right, it's about most of people are coming to see a manta rays, sharks. On the winter, most of the time to see a humpback whales. I know some countries doesn't have any sea. When they come here and they found the sea, our beautiful sea with the waves, they just want to experience, to see those manta rays, 7 meters manta rays, dolphins, turtles, because our sea, it does have pretty much everything.
While plenty of people come here just to relax, the diving of Tofo Beach is quite well known. While many visitors come to soak up the sun, others come for reef diving. For a couple of $100, Leonardo can train you as a diver in just 2 days. Once you are licensed, you are out on the reef with the rest of the sea life enthusiasts. They can even show you how to take your own photos and video underwater. For those who want some privacy, there are plenty of stretches of secluded beach in Tofo. But if you want to mix with the locals, as usual, music brings Africans together. The World Tourism Council says that tourism contributed 7.6% of Mozambique's GDP in 2013. It accounts for 2.4% of employment in the country as well. And if you can't spend all your time at the beach, Mhambane has an unspoiled countryside to visit.
Very good, very interesting fauna here in Mozambique. Not only at sea, if you go to Lake Nyasa, for example, you still have a very good, very beautiful sport fishing. So we still protect. I think Mozambique still a travel destination.
If you enjoy fishing, of course, there is also the rest of the coastline that you can explore. Even the capital Maputo sees its share of fishing excursions. So if your ideal holiday is spent near the sea, see about a trip to Mozambique, where you are never far from a day at the beach.
If you haven't been to Tofo Beach, you have been doing yourself a lot of injustice. Make a point of making a trip there. For now, we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be in East Africa. Welcome back. Glad you're still watching On the Road, Africa's #1 travel guide. I'm Onja Mungai. Now, our final destination is Nairobi, Kenya, at a place called the Go Down Center. I won't tell you what you're going to do there. Find out after we make it there. A visit to Kenya cost between $50 and $100 US. Members of the East African community do not require any. Flights to Nairobi land at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, which is the main one in the country, among Moi International Airport in Mombasa, Kisumu International Airport, and Wilson Airport. The Go Down Center is along Mombasa Road on your way from the airport to the city, and taxis from the airport cost between $30 and $50 to the Central Business District. Accommodation in Nairobi has diverse options, from 5-star hotels to lodges. Along the Mombasa Road, you can sleep at Ole Sereni, located near the Nairobi National Park, and just a few yards from the airport. Rooms go for $280 to $400 US, depending on which one you choose, ranging from superior to club double rooms. Alternatively, you can lodge at Jupiter Guest Resort Parklands for only $40 US a night. Eating joints are numerous in Nairobi, depending on the cuisine you savor. For Indian dishes, you can check out Angiti in Westlands on Rafter Road. Now get ready to visit with an artist who has been telling stories in his own language of canvas and brush. Meet Mike Soy.
My name is Michael Soy, and I am a contemporary painter. I basically create work that revolves around the city of Nairobi, and I have chosen to create work that revolves around a lot of the little things that people in the city do that do not want discussed.
He's been referred to as controversial, but terms himself as a bold and revolutionary artist. Canvas being a medium he chose to speak his mind on, often tackling issues everybody shies away from: prostitution, alcoholism, corruption, and politics. He says his work falls outside of cultural norms, but should remain exactly that in order to challenge what he calls the hypocrisy within Kenyan society.
Sorry? I think I can tell you where the controversy comes from. A lot of what I do is work that revolves around things that I see. I do not come up with these things. I mean, I will hang out in places at night. You know, I will hang out in Westlands. I will hang out in, you know, in Nairobi at night. And some of the things that, I basically portray in my work are things that I observe during these times.
Have something about With over 50 collections, Mike's latest series, Faces, is an appreciation of a modern woman, his love for natural hair, and the beauty of an African woman. The Faces exhibit was an attraction to art enthusiasts who were taken by the colorful 17-piece series. He describes his concept for the pieces as the beginning of an exploration in making beautiful art.
I have been doing this kind of thing for like a long time, and everybody now associates me to this.
But Soy's status on the Nairobi art scene has gathered different emotions from the residents here.
He's an artist. He can draw or represent anyone he's trying to portray. Why is it just one woman? What's the story behind this woman? That's the main question I have for him, if I do get to see him again today.
I don't see a lot of places where they're sold, but I kind of see like on his Instagram they say you can go to certain websites. But yeah, I think there needs to be a bit more of that. But yeah, I think now I'm a bit more educated about where to get his stuff from, yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o, an Oscar-winning actress, gave a stamp of approval when she posed with one of the designs for social media. Soy aspires to diversify his collection of arts by creating a book one day, which will offer a look back at Nairobi's past years from now. Meanwhile, Michael is working on his next exhibition, Sex and the City. He claims he's ready to be called whatever names people wish when the arts are finally out.
Great stuff from my backyard. Now the moment you have been waiting for is here. Ladies and gentlemen, the fun facts.
This week on the Road Fun Facts.
Did you know that the largest man-made forest in Africa is the Vivia Forest in Malawi? The forest was started in 1964 and occupies an area of 560 kilometers squared. Its aim was to provide trees for a pulp mill, which was never built due to the economic recession. Did you know that the only place to find Picattates birds is in the equatorial forest of West and Central Africa? That includes Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Cameroon, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, the Republic of Congo. According to IUCD Red List, they are listed as vulnerable extinction. Did you know that the prime meridian marker is located in Mali? It is specifically drawn in a place called Gao and the capital of the Gao region. The city is located on the river Niger, 320 kilometers or 200 miles east-southeast of Timbuktu. While here, one can literally stand on two hemispheres, the northern and the southern.
Don't forget, if you have suggestions of places that we can visit with amazing scenery and breathtaking activities that we could indulge in, please write us on the email address below or get us on Facebook and Twitter. Please join us again next week when we take you on another trip around the continent. Bring your backpack, a pair of study shoes, and a swimsuit, just in case. Unfortunately, we come to the end of our show today. I hope you enjoyed yourselves as much as I did. Let's keep the conversation going on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Mungai. Hope to see you again next week. Same time, but maybe not the same place. Until then, happy trails.
KTN News. Get the whole story.
After studying traditional Japanese art, Takashi Murakami has become the frontrunner in the international boom in pop media culture, blurring the boundaries between high art and what some refer to as low art. Murakami uses popular themes from the mass media and pop culture, then goes on to use those images to create sculptures, paintings, and commercial items like collector's figurines and mobile phone covers. Murakami is credited with starting the style of super flat. The term refers to the style of flattened forms of graphic art, animation, and fine art, characterized by flat planes of color, but is also a nod to Japan's consumer culture and its perceived shallow emptiness. Murakami's photographic narrative, Little Boy, examines the aesthetics of post-war culture in Japan. In recent years, there has been a rejuvenation of the contemporary Japanese art scene, and Takashi Murakami can be thanked for the renewed interest. His art has become an important fashion accessory.
It's an event of fashion, art, and music, you know. I'm a designer for Louis Vuitton, the artistic director. I collaborated with a great contemporary artist, Takashi Murakami, who's also collaborated with Kanye West, who's performing tonight. And, you know, I think it's very representative of the idea of art and bringing, and people sort of not feeling culturally unable to to appreciate art because they weren't schooled in it or something. I mean,
Murakami applied his look to a line of Louis Vuitton accessories. The artist transformed the company's classic brown and gold bags into a riot of LV logos, saucer shapes and cartoon eye designs on a background of pristine white.
When beautiful ladies approach me and say, "I'm a big fan of yours," I feel very good, even though they don't really know my art, but they sure know Louis Vuitton.
The Louis Vuitton bags have become classics, and Murakami's art has gone mainstream thanks to the collaboration. In 2008, the Brooklyn Museum hosted a retrospective of Takashi Murakami. The exhibition included a fully operational Louis Vuitton store and 90 works by the prolific artist.
Looks like the kind of new era because the art become to exactly the entertainment. Like, you know, the first time people mention for the collaboration with fashion and art, but maybe in the near future, this is, you know, the kind of the new entertainment.
He was concerned that in the West, he was thought of as a handbag designer rather than a fine artist. But Murakami's work is among the most desired in the world. Life-size fiberglass cartoon figure Miss KO2 reportedly selling for more than $500,000.
I'm thankful if you enjoy it. If possible, I hope the audience understands the high level of techniques used by me and my team for painting.
His foray into fashion and flashy pop art sculptures like Miss KO2 have led some art critics to accuse him of having no internal critique. It certainly doesn't need an art expert to see the similarities between Murakami's career and Warhol and Koons. And whether overly commercial or not, Takashi Murakami's art is immediately accessible to all and intellectually stimulating to some. The bright colors and cartoon cuteness appeals to teenage art lovers in Tokyo looking for a new sticker or school bag. But Murakami's work is also gaining attention among serious art students looking for the deeper subtext in his commercial art, branding and merchandising. Sellout or genius, Takashi Murakami is an international art world phenomenon.
The battle is on. The debt is drawing nigh and candidates are making their pitch. KTN News puts the spotlight on the campaign trail and the campaign pledges.
Kenya, that is the message. Bad news to most of the...
Where are the candidates casting their nets? Just what is at stake? Join me, Yusuf Ibrahim, on the Campaign Watch edition of Choice 2017 this Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m.
Your Saturdays and Sunday Standard newspaper has gotten even better with new columnists. On Saturdays, Kamofo Waiganjo delves into controversial issues, and his stand will leave you more enlightened than fixated on one single standpoint. Barak Muluka, a master of good storytelling, and keeps you up to date on political developments, realignments, and happenings at the corridors of power. Ken Opalo, the assistant professor, has a way of simplifying big phenomenon and bringing it to your doorstep. On Sundays, Joki Kaigai is bold, provocative, and mind-blowing. Daisy Maritime Maina is witty, engaging, and adds a refreshing tweak to Kenya's politics. Macau Mutua, the distinguished professor of law, tells it like he sees it. David Oginde, the good bishop, is not only well-spoken, but also has a way with the written word. Kamau Wairuri is a master in strategy and policy. Houghton Irungu speaks truth to power on issues affecting the wider society. It's now more inclusive, informative, concise, colorful. The Standard. Feel the change.
trading in animal skin is a profitable but illegal business in India. In India, lions, tigers and leopards come under the category of endangered species. Although trafficking in wildlife products is banned, the Indian tiger is under severe pressure from habitat reduction and poaching for Chinese medicine. Conventional fireworks, even those designed for indoor use, produce plumes of smoke and residues that can easily find their way into food, drink and the air we breathe. The new mixtures use a high nitrogen content compound. The result is a clean burning, smokeless display, and the amount of metal is less than 10% of the total weight. In the past,